Hi, so today we are going to be working on integer division, and I'm going to start out by giving you the definition of division, or partitive division, and that says you give some amount of stuff to an equal amount of groups and count it all up. So today we are looking at the number 27,692 divided by 23. So today we are going to pretend I'm me, and I am going to I have this amount of cookies, and I am going to give this amount of cookies evenly to 23 of my friends. So what I'm trying to figure out is how many cookies are they all going to end up with. So I'm going to start out with discussing place value to you. Because we have 27,692, we are starting in the 10,000 place value. So this is the 10,000 place value, thousands place value, hundreds place value, tens place value, and ones place value. Just so you get an idea about place value. So right away, I'm going to start out, and I am going to see if 23 goes into the 10,000s place. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be multiplying 23 times 10,000, because that is the spot we are in. And so when I multiply 23 times 10,000, I get 230,000. So we know that in the thousands place, it does not go in. It will not go into this place. So we'll just put a 0 because it doesn't go in there. So now we move over to our next place value, which is the thousands place. And what we're doing is we are saying, okay, I'm going to take 23 times 1,000, and that gives you 23,000. Does 23,000 go into 27,000? Yes, it does. And we know that 23,000 goes into 27,000 one time. 23 times 1, of course, is 23. So then we put it under. So now we are going to see if there are any left over, and we said that there are 4 left over. Now, even before we subtract, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw what we would call a ghost 0. Now, these don't need to be there because they're not necessarily relevant. However, they do help you remember the place value. So if you look at it, we talked about how we're in the 2 spot, we're in the 10,000 place value, now we're in the thousands place value. So this is just helping us represent our place value, so we would add the zeros. And if we remember our tens rule, we know that if you multiply 23 times 10, 23 times 1,000, whatever number you multiply it by, however many number of zeros there are behind that 1, is how many zeros you add. So we multiplied 23 times 1,000, so we know that we need 3 zeros behind, because 1,000 has 3 zeros behind it. So now what we need to do is we say, okay, we subtracted 27 minus 23. So now we have 4 left over, 4,000. So we need to move on to the place value. And because whether or not you have your ghost 0 or a 0 there, it could be nothing there. 6 minus nothing is still 6, so you bring it down. And that's how we know we can move on to the next place value. So what we get now is we get 46, or I'll add the ghost zeros here, and we would be 4,600, so we know we're in the hundreds place. So I'm going to see, can 23 go into 4,600? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 23 times 100, and that gives you 2,300. So we know that it does go in there. Oops, sorry, no comma. It does go in there, or, yes, comma, one more zero. It does go in there at least one time, but we know that 23 goes into 46 two times, so we know that 2,300 will go into 4,600 two times. We put a 2 up at the top. So now we subtract like we did before. 4,600 goes zeros, I guess, again. And we get 0. So now we move over to our next spot, and we are going to bring that 9 down again because we want to move over to the tens place value. Put a 9 here. So now we are going to do, because we're in the tens place value, we're going to do 23 times 10. And we know that that is 230. So we have 9 here. So does 230, or technically it would be 90 if we add the 0. Does 230 go into 90? It does not, so it goes in there 0 times. And 23 times 0 is 0, so we'd subtract 0, which we all know is 9 again. And then we bring down the final 2 to finish up our problem. So we will bring down 92, and that's our last step. And we know we're in step 5, so we would be, so that is the ones place. So we would be doing 23 times 1, which equals 23. But we know, so we know that it can at least go in there once. But we know that 23 goes in 92 4 times evenly. And so we know it goes in 4 times, so then we subtract the 92 and we get a remainder of 0. So we know that I can give 1,204 cookies evenly to 23 of my friends, which follows the definition because we gave some amount of stuff to equal amount of groups and counted all up.